This video was made possible by Brilliant, a math and science problem-solving website that can help you study more effectively. Here's a simple formula that helps me think about stress in an intuitive way. Stress is equal to unsatisfied desire multiplied by the time it takes to satisfy that desire. Or, stress is equal to what I want divided by what I have, all multiplied by the time it takes to get what I want. So there are two key ways to increase stress. Want more than you have, and increase the time it takes to get what you want. Using this formula as a foundation, here are 7 rules to maximize misery and stress. Rule 1. Desire to be there, not here. Before we can maximize stress, we have to create it, and we can create it by wanting what we don't currently have. In other words, desire to be there, not here. Where is there? There is anywhere but here. There is that place where you have more money, more intelligence, someone else's love, the approval of others, status, beauty, or fame. It's that magical destination that you're always running towards. But desiring to be there isn't going to bring misery on its own. Sometimes we actually get there, and overcoming the stress involved brings growth, transformation, and pleasure. So to achieve chronic stress and misery, we have to learn to never get there, to never stop running. We have to learn to create an unquenchable thirst. Rule 2. Never learn from your mistakes, or better yet, repeat them. Once you desire to be there, it's very important that you never arrive. In fact, the further you can move away from there, the better. Make random predictions about how to get there. Stop doing all of the things that move you towards it, and repeat the things that move you further away. Through trial, error, and refinement, you can create a self-improving process that moves you further and further away from your destination. But it's important to hope that things will suddenly and randomly change for the better. Nothing really causes misery like having your hopes crushed over and over again. If you somehow manage to get there, realize that there is now here, and if you're following Rule 1, you must refuse to be happy here, find a new there, and begin the process all over again. Remember, there's always another there to go to, always. Rule 3. Be ungrateful. Remove the word enough from your vocabulary and replace it with more. Pursue more money, more knowledge, more beauty, more status, more fame, and more approval. Create an unquenchable thirst inside of yourself, and be like a dog chasing its own tail, always grasping for something, but never quite getting it. Refuse to enjoy simple pleasures like a sunny day, a nice meal, or a good joke, because that might convince you it's okay to be right here, right now. Travel from destination to destination, never stopping to smell the roses along the way. Sure, reaching the last 10 destinations didn't make you feel how you thought it would, but reaching the next one will. Rule 4. Be arrogant. To get what you don't have, you have to learn something new, and all learning begins in humility, knowing that you don't already know. So to maximize stress and misery, be arrogant. If you already believe you know everything, you'll never actually learn anything, and this will make sure you never reach your destination. But there's more to being arrogant than believing you know everything. Realize that you are the center of the universe, and everything depends on whether or not you get to where you're going. Treat people like tools that either help or hinder you on your journey. Take yourself very seriously. Constantly talk about how you're going there, and take no interest in the lives of others. This will be a good way to get rid of meaningful relationships that might otherwise challenge you to grow, keep you grounded, support you in trying times, and make life worth living, here and now. Rule 5. Ruminate endlessly. Do you believe we think to enhance our experience of life? That mistakes are meant to be learned from and not dwelt upon? Well, think again. The purpose of thinking is to needlessly stress yourself out and fill your life with misery. Ruminate on your past mistakes, do nothing about them, and don't learn from them. Desire to change what can never be changed. Think about the distant and unreasonable goals you have, and reflect on how inadequate your life is in comparison. Instead of using your imagination to grow as a person and enhance your experience of life, let it make you miserable. Create elaborate, irrational stories in your head that are not based on reality. For example, assume that the person you like doesn't like you, even though you have no real proof that they do or don't. If you went and talked to them first, instead of creating stories about it, you might actually get what you want. So don't do that. Instead, create a grand story about why they would never like you, based on nothing, so you can live in a world where you can never have what you want. In other words, you can live in a mental prison of your own making. Rule 6. Don't live sustainably. You can either sacrifice the future for the present or the present for the future, but don't you dare live sustainably. Instead of finding meals that are both healthy and enjoyable, eat junk food that tastes good now in exchange for your future health. Or go the other way and eat really bland, healthy food. Do this until you hate your life, break down, and binge on junk food again. Watch TV or play video games for 8 hours a day until you feel like you've accomplished nothing productive. Then work non-stop for a few days until you feel like a soulless robot who never has any fun and just lives to work. Cycle back and forth between sacrificing the present for the future or the future for the present. This will keep you in a cycle of self-sabotage, ensuring that you always want what you don't have, but never achieve it. Rule 7. Keep people who follow the other principles around you. Now that you're sufficiently stressed out and miserable, it's time to take the final step. Keep people who follow the other 6 principles around you. If everyone around you thinks the same, you'll never realize there's a different way to think. And if you somehow try to turn your life around, if you even dare to climb out of this hole of misery and stress, others will grab you by the foot and yank you back down. Or better yet, they'll make you feel crazy for thinking differently, and you'll jump back into the hole on your own, just to feel sane. So there you have it, 7 rules to maximize misery and stress. Many people are on the lookout for online math and science resources right now, and whether you're a student looking to get ahead, a professional brushing up on cutting-edge topics, or someone who just wants to use this time to understand the world better, you should check out Brilliant. Brilliant's mission is to help you achieve your learning goals. They cover a wide array of topics such as logic, physics, mathematics, and even computer science in their interactive problem-solving courses. If you're interested in learning more about logic, get started with Brilliant's course on the topic. It starts out simply enough so that anyone can begin learning, but it quickly progresses into more difficult problems that would challenge even the most logical of thinkers. It's a really fun way to learn and to grow. To check them out and start learning, just go to www.brilliant.org/freedominthought or click the link in the description below and you can sign up for free. As a bonus for those who are ready to push themselves further, the first 200 people will be hooked up with 20% off the annual subscription. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.